Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. I hope everyone is enjoying their week. To those that are in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And thank you to those who have been subscribing, following, joining the channel. I do greatly appreciate it. Please do share as well. Follow on TikTok, Red Devils Corner Kick Pod, Instagram, the Red Devils Corner Kick Pod, and on X, RD Corner Kick Pod. Couple things. Just tonight, I'm going to be doing my preview Friday, so another episode will be coming out just to do the preview for Crystal Palace. I was debating about doing it tonight, but as I've been prepping, I decided to switch it to tomorrow. Couple things. I just want to wait for an update on Mateus Cunha. As you know, he's still recovering from the head injury. From what I'm hearing about the reports, obviously things are looking up. So he could be 50-50. I know Monday was a precaution, but with hand injuries, they have to go through a protocol, especially with concussions. You don't want there. You don't want to continue to linger, especially post-concussion symptoms. Obviously, nothing has been related in that sense, but you want to make sure everything's good because from what I was reading, the head injury was not really the best, but they have been monitoring it. Things have been looking up. So far, no symptoms, no setbacks. So he is on pace to be potentially ready for Sunday, but I just want to wait until I get that official confirmation. Then I'll go about setting up my lineup because I did prepare my lineup last week from when you were reading the reports. Prepare to go could have a different meaning, but we'll wait for the Ruben Amorim press conference to discuss whether or not they'll be available. But for all we know, he may not disclose much or not much will be there because for all we know, nothing has been cleared yet. But with how early the game is on Sunday, hopefully they hear something soon. But yes, so hopefully we have Cunha ready to go. And then, yes, I'll get my preview episode out, do my lineup, discussing, especially with everything that happened on Everton this week. So it's a matter of getting everything ready for Sunday. And what do we expect? Do we expect things differently for this Sunday? We'll have to wait and see. So a lot of things could go either way. Crystal Palace is a good squad. We struggled with them last year. We struggled with them the year before. I was there when they beat us. I was there in Selhurst when they beat United 4-0. They've been playing very well. They're a very good squad. So it's, yeah. And obviously the links with Adam Warrington coming up. Obviously the rumors, obviously speculations of him being a target for United. So, yeah, a lot of targets we're going to be facing against Antoine Semenyo, João Gomes. We've already seen Elliot Anderson. We've seen Baliba with Brighton. So, yes, we're going to see a lot of things happening, a lot of targets coming up so as well. So, yes. But, yes, put the push aside. Mostly today's episode is going to be about a little bit about Ruben Amorim. Obviously, we can talk targets, spending, and everything. We can hear one day they'll be spending, we'll hear another. Obviously, with the changes to PSR, everything, the financials, there could be some wiggle room to them being able to spend more money next summer before the rules set in. So there's that potential because I believe it was 2027 that they're aiming for. So we could have some financial freedom to save for the next year. But we don't know. It's up and down, but we could get more targets. We can do more of a clear out. Obviously, ever since Monday, there's been a lot of stuff about talking about selling players. Bruno's been on the top of the list, getting rid of Casemiro, Luke Shaw. There's a lot of things to discuss. A lot of people giving up on Dorgu. Dorgu is young. He will get better. Just time. We are not a patient fan base. That is the truth. And we just need time. But I know we have things to work on. And Ruben has been honest. He has. He knows exactly what he's been going on. He hasn't lied. He didn't even lie during the undefeated streak, where we got our 3 wins and 2 draws. It wasn't a secret of how badly we had been playing, and he knew that would finally catch up to us, and it did. It showed up after an international break, and I don't care what Bruno did against Armenia. We struggled and we couldn't do anything. So now we're back at Ruben Amorim is now looking. Obviously the Ruben Amorim outers is there to be sacked. All the stuff, nothing's improved in over a year. Whoever manager you think you're going to get, you're still getting these players, and they're going to turn against them. Sean Dyche, Ange, Xavi. You're gonna have players still with this, and you're gonna get the manager's bounce, and then we're back here in 18 months. That is the problem. The reason why I think everything is the way it is because we didn't get a manager's bounce with Ruben. We got it with when we brought in when we had Van Nistelrooy take over after Ten Hag got sacked. But why would we? The manager was honest. He knew exactly what was going on. And Ruud was great. He got us a few things, but that was the manager's bounce. They knew what was happening. We got the manager in that has to set the tone and set a culture. And since then, yes, it has been the best. We still went to a European final. Yes, it was one of the shittiest performances out there. That is on the players for not wanting to show up. But here we are. We have players that need to. Again, the roster's not the same as it was. Garnacho, Rashford, Antony, they're all gone. Hoyland's gone. They're gone. Onana is gone as well. So we have players. We have a different lineup. But Monday obviously wasn't those new players. It was the players that were brought in last year. Xerxes did not play well. Obviously, he is not in the plans for Ruben. Bruno, who has been struggling, yes, he's more of a 10 playing in a pivot, but he can still know how to defend. I don't blame that goal on Euro. I blame the goal on Bruno for not defending and tracking back properly. Little light foot of just trying to pick at him to get the ball. Nothing. That pass to Mbeumo was terrible, and you see Mbeumo have to track back, and then he gets a yellow, putting him at risk, potentially being subbed off. But luckily we had no subs, or luckily he didn't get another yellow. But they just struggled against how basically Everton played. Just sitting there, blocking, just couldn't get anything going. Pickford did play well. I did say that. But since then, even now, people are on him about not doing his tactics, the formation, the back four, things need to change. Well, a lot of people weren't saying that when they had beaten Sunderland, Liverpool, Brighton, and drawing against Forest and Tottenham. But the back three is there. You see the formation change throughout. Like I said on Monday, what did I say? Ruben Amorim, or not Monday, Tuesday. What I said on Tuesday, I said Amorim could literally be on the field with them in the middle of a game, point to where he needs to go, and tell him how to kick a ball, and somehow I think the players would fuck it up. I believe that. I really do believe the way things were on Monday. Amorim can lay out the tactics of what he wanted. He can go on the field, hold their damn hands, guide them through where they need to be, tell them how to kick the ball from here to there, and how not to screw up a pass. And somehow I think these players are so shit that they would fuck it up. It's the truth. And it was happening from Liverpool. It was happening with everything. Your wins were great, but it's there. We would literally, I think Amorim would literally go from point A to point B, tell where the players need to go. He would be in the middle of the pitch and tell Bruno how to defend correctly and then take the ball and properly carry it. That's what he needs to do. Yes, your job is to hold up and transition and move the ball through, and you do the passing. You can't defend, and you sometimes fail to even carry the ball up and do the passes. Casemiro's legs, obviously Xerxes couldn't hold up and do anything in transition. But I think when you talk tactics, Ruben wants to do what he needs to do, or Amorim, sorry. Like, you literally you'll be like, you need to go here, you need to be there. I will take you here. You need to kick the ball there. You need to be there. I feel like if he did all that, they still screw it up with him holding their hands on how to get things done. I'm still Amorim, and like with everything going on. And obviously now the news and everything, obviously you lose your first 1 out of 5. Like, the players don't show up. He's responsible to motivate the players. And then now you have more pressure building up because Arne Slot is not playing well. Liverpool are struggling. Arne Slot is building something of his own, and he literally he's literally changed and tore everything up. I wouldn't say he's torn everything up or everything from Klopp. But the one thing too is, I'm going to quote Jamie Carragher. Mo Salah is not the same. Like, you're hoping that Mo Salah is able to replicate what he did last year. He can't. Virgil van Dijk obviously isn't playing his best season. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold is now in Madrid. You have McAllister there. But you have players from last season that aren't performing the way they were last season. Last season, Liverpool was dominating. They had their struggles, but you saw things happening near the end. And then when you're bringing in new players, obviously those players are not living up to what they've done. Especially Isak and Wirtz. Those two aren't living up to what they're doing, what they've been signing, especially Isak, especially with the money that they spent. 400 million bought on a new striker. Mo Salah's not being the best, but the way they're, for an example here, they have lost, what are we at here? I think they've lost, they've won 1 out of their last 7 games. I believe that. Because they lost to Forest, they've struggled. Yeah, they've only had 1 win, I think, out of the last 7-8 games. Yes, there is concerning. Everyone is concerned. There is cause for concern that he could potentially be gone. Like, I don't think they're going to lose to West Ham this weekend. But the pressure of now hearing Arne Slot, the man who won the Prem, is now potentially at risk of losing his job. Now, when you're looking at it, how are we comparing that to Amorim? Amorim, like, Ineos doesn't have time. Like, how do I say this? Last year, we went through 3 managers. Theoretically, we were on Amorim is the 3rd manager from last year. Ten Hag started, Ruud took over, Amorim came in. That's 3 managers. He is our 3rd. So there are things that need to be changed. Obviously, the way we played in the Prem wasn't the best. These players not yet quite familiar with Ruben. And obviously, we have been begging for a system to be there, for a manager to stick with it. We finally have that manager. Everybody wants him out because the players aren't there. We know that the players are not able to play to it, or not willing to adjust, or they're struggling to. But listen, we can't get whatever we want. But there were signs of improvement when you're watching the games last year. From what I saw, there were still struggles, but there was improvements in some of the games. Obviously, Europe trying to win, and obviously everything against Tottenham was just awful. But you did see things this year as well. A lot of things have not been on, some of them have been on Amorim, but a lot of it has been on the players. A manager's job is to prepare them, tell them the tactics, where they need to be, and all that stuff. Sometimes it's like that episode of Friends when Phoebe is trying to teach Joey how to say "Je m'appelle," and basically he does this, breaks it everything. You have her break down Je m'appelle, and basically you ask them to say it, and they just can't do it. It's like this with the players. We heard reports that they trained very well. Great. Who cares? Who cares that you scored 50 goals? Who cares that your team won in warm-ups? None of that is transitioning over to the pitch. So either the players don't want to comprehend or they can comprehend. And I'll go back to my statement here earlier. Amorim can probably go on the pitch during a game, tell them where to be, hold their hand to go there while still playing at full 100%. He'll be running with them. And you sit there and you're like, you're still screwing it up. And to those players that I'm directing it to, like, for an example, Delo, who struggled, Casemiro, obviously you can say his legs, but he's been good, but still. Bruno, who's just, Luke Shaw, who has been fine, but as of late hasn't been the best. The substitutes that you bring on, just, Xerxes got his chance, still nothing. So there were cases there. Again, Sesko, Cunha, missing them on Monday was huge. Not starting Mount, but I understand why he didn't start Mount. Cool. The one thing he shouldn't be changing this weekend is the Mbeumo Cunha, or not, the Mbeumo Delo side. You can't mess with that. That has to remain the same. So if Cunha is ready to go, he should be at the 9. And if anything, if possible, Bruno could be potentially there. But you can start playing to the player's strength, but they still have to remain in the same system. Like, he's not changing. There's sometimes going to be a back 4, whatever, and, and a lot of people talking about a back 5. There was no back 5. There was no 5 defenders. There's 3 defenders, 2 wingers that have been transitioning to a winger. Yes, we know them as left backs, but they were wing backs. That's the position there. The thing is, some of the players are just not understanding what they need to do with the tactics that Ruben is being set up. You saw it struggle with Mazraoui. Once Mount came on, you saw things go a little bit better on the attack, but not well enough. And once you get to Diallo back to his right wing back spot, and you have Mbeumo at the correct 10, they're perfectly fine together. I think that's what Ruben tried to do, is because how well they work on the right, you hope that they can do the same thing with the attack. Obviously, that didn't work. Things looked a little bit better once you brought on Mount, but they still struggled with 10. I don't want to keep going back, but Amorim still should be in. There's still time. Like, what's happening with Liverpool, if Amorim was losing like he did this season, the way Arne Slot is losing, yes, there's probably a chance. I hope there wasn't going to be, and I would still try to push for him to still be there. But there was more of a risk of him being sacked than what's going on. Liverpool is struggling. It's not a secret, and it is struggling bad. So we'll see what goes on from there. That's the one thing, right? You have to see what's happening there, and it's hard because, like, and I know everyone talked about Thomas Frank, Ange, like, don't get me wrong, Shundish is there, and everyone's like, oh, Nottingham Forest has changed, and they beat Liverpool 3-0. Cool, we beat Liverpool as well. Nottingham Forest is on a manager's bounce at the moment. Nothing against Shundish. There's nothing against him. He is a good manager. But they're on a manager's bounce. What are they going to be like halfway through the season when things aren't going right? I'm just saying. But right now, players like depth was an issue on Monday. Depth is going to be an issue in a couple of weeks. January's window can't come fast enough where we can replenish our stock. We have to replenish. We need depth, and we can use our academy players, but some of them aren't ready, and Ruben's doing a good job trying to protect them. So that's the one thing, right? In some games when you're close, you can try and bring on an academy player, but it may not work. Aiden Heaven, hopefully we're going to see soon, get some more minutes for him. But there are players there that are struggling. And again, we're not at practice every day. We're not at Carrington. We're not watching film. We're not seeing what the players are doing. But listen, Xerxes got his opportunity. He struggled. He had some nice shots. He had a couple of headers that were saved nicely. But part of me is also looking at it now. It's like, are you already a foot out the door? Because now you weren't getting minutes. Now you are here, and now you're just not showing up. There were struggles. Missing Cunha was huge, especially the physicality. Cunha was important to have there. Mount not starting, yes, I understand. That's an important piece too. But for the players that have been complaining about minutes, you got them, and here we are. But listen, and even the news today of, I think I saw a news report today that even front office is now understanding that there are limitations to what Amorim can do. Yes, and the sky is blue. This isn't news. We saw this last season with some of the players. We saw it at the beginning of this season and currently seeing it now with the same players. Yes, we're well aware that there's limitations. We went to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Like, here we are. Yeah, like, I am still going to be Amorim in because I know they want to build something. And I also know it's not going to happen now. Like I said, like we've seen, 10 years of crap. It takes a lot longer than 2 years to fix the crap. Like, and we're going to wait and see how it goes. Like, there's going to be adjustments. There's time to build. It's going to take time. Some people probably think I'm drinking the Ineos Kool-Aid. Listen, Ineos has had their ups and downs. I'm not saying that they've been perfect since they've joined, since they've taken over. But they have done some certain things. They're working on the wage bill, which is clear. Trying to reduce salaries, moving people off the books, all and so on and so forth. They're trying to build things, and they're trying to get things done right. Trying to build up the academy, get youth in, get talent so they can start building, and eventually could potentially sell down the road. But we need to develop and get our talent there. We've been struggling with the academy, replenishing it, getting a youth system where we can develop and bring in, So, listen, we may see more academy players this weekend. I'll talk more about the preview tomorrow. But yeah, like they're going to build things. It's going to take time. And we may lose, like, listen, we also got to remember, it's our first loss, and unfortunately it was our first loss in 5. But that loss hurt a lot more. First loss in 6. But that hurt a lot more than it should have. The way the loss went, everything is going. It brought back Grimsby because you can tell players to do everything that you can, but for some reason they just screwed it up. It's the truth. They literally screwed it up. So yeah, still Amorim and so on and so forth. So, okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to be back for tomorrow, or technically now today, depending on when you're listening to the podcast. But I will be recapping. I will be discussing the preview against Crystal Palace. I could talk more about transfers, but it's the same thing. But we're going to wait. The financial details with everything new. Like I said, I mentioned we could have more range going to next summer transfer window with the new rules. So we'll see how that goes, but we won't know more until we get closer. I'm sure January we'll see potential with the next coming weeks as well. But yes, tomorrow, Crystal Palace preview. Also, probably recap some of Amorim's press conference because it's usually a press conference on Fridays when we go into weekend matches. So tune into that as well. But yeah, enjoy your Friday. Enjoy the remainder of your week. Enjoy your Friday. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with the preview against Crystal Palace. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. One more thing before I go ahead, cut myself off. Like, subscribe, follow, whether on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, and as well on social medias, Instagram, TikTok, and X. And once again, because I did it, this is the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.